my broskies, my brizangs. You know what I'm realizing? I'm realizing that the more I focus on me, the more I give myself permission to do what I want, to be who I am. The less I try to placate and please other people, particularly women, the more respect I have for myself. This might sound really fundamental, really basic right now, but this is my experience. The more I just radically don't give a fuck about other people's agendas, and I'm just so in my own agenda, fully own it. Fully own it. I've been talking about self-acceptance lately. I call myself the snake oil salesman because I used to be so ashamed. I used to feel so ashamed that I could make money doing something for me instead of being a little slave. Like, keep your head down, slave. Work harder, work bigger hours. Maybe you'll get a promotion if you keep working hard, but there's no promises, there's no guarantees, slave. The more I stepped out and started taking risks and asking for money, asking for the sale, the gift of sales. This is something you can develop. This is something every man should develop. The ability to sell. I got to a point where I just owned it. I'm a snake oil salesman. I'm an imposter. Shoot me. What are you gonna do? What are you? I'm an imposter. What are you? You know? You never get past this imposter syndrome until you just own it. I'm a snake oil salesman. I sell ideas. I sell words. I sell energy. That's it. Nothing special. The people are willing to pay for it, and people get value from it. So fuck it. You know, and it's this attitude of just retarded levels of ownership where you just own it so much. You just own your path. You own your quirks. You don't flinch. When life tests you, life is a woman, and she will test you. She'll test you through other people. She'll test you through shit falling apart on a continual basis for certain seasons of your life. And I found that if I can just ground into that, baby, just drop into that, just energetically sink into that exact scenario which I'm in, and just have my feet planted firmly on the ground and just take a really big sniff of whatever that shit cocktail is that life has given me, and just, oh yeah. I can alchemize that. I can turn the shit into sugar. I'm stealing from Eli right now. I'm a snake oil salesman. What are you gonna do? And you just sniff that in. You just get high on that. But you're like a rock. Fully stoic, fully present. And at the same time, there's this little part of you which is just so cheeky and so rebellious. But you keep that part in perspective, in ratio, like 80-20. 80-20. I'm talking about embodiment. There is nothing more attractive to a woman than a man who embodies himself. Gets out of this. Drops into his balls. Lives in his balls. lives in his gut. That kind of certainty, that kind of raw, unfuckwithable groundedness makes a woman wet. The kind of unflinching, like, baby, I'm gonna leave you if you don't XYZ, like trying to put demands on you. And you just smile, you're just like, you know, radical coming home to self, radical ownership of yourself. This has been shifting so much for me lately. You know, you go from being an orbiter to being the one who's orbited, because you are creating a center of gravity which outweighs your entire environment. This is the key, right? You start to become so dense that everything in your environment begins to get sucked into you like a vortex. This is what magnetizes women and money. One of the best ways you can cultivate that is through meditation, just sitting through all the pain, through the voices in your head, through the constant BS, through all the physical pain in your body, and just sitting and observing it and just dying. Allowing your egos, there's many different fractured parts of the ego that go for different things, attached to different things. Allowing them to burn off. Just simmering that stew and just cooking off all those volatile oils, cooking off all those rancid old flavors until all you're left with is pure alchemical gold. See, you don't have to get it from anywhere. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to win it or achieve it. I'm talking about your basic nature as you are right now. All you got to do is accept it and own it. Stop scrambling. You don't need to scramble anymore. You just need to know that you're the shit and just sit in that. And you'll be tested. Are you the shit? How about if I try and throw you off balance? How about if I point out your inadequacies? Cool. Sweet. This is the shift in your presence which changes the whole game. Now, I want to talk a bit about the alchemy which I've been practicing lately. You see, life wants to know if you're greedy. Because if you're greedy, if you overextend with this power, because this is power I'm talking about. This video may not reach many people. I'm cool with that. I'm past the point of wanting to make crowd-pleasing videos. I want to make videos that hit hard to the few who can hear them. Life wants to know if you're a greedy son of a bitch, if you're going to overreach with this power. Because if you overreach with this power, you will destroy yourself and everything in your life. And you will keep rising to new levels with this power, and at every level you'll be tested again. Are you going to take more than you need? Are you going to fearfully, because greed is a manifestation of fear, are you going to fearfully take more mana than what you need for today? This is how God tested the Israelites. Every day, fresh manna, rain from heaven, food, these little tiny follicles of bread, heavenly bread. And God said to them, only gather what you need for each day. In other words, how much do you trust me? How much do you trust yourself? I'm not talking about ego here, I'm talking about your essence. How much do you trust that you are actually love itself? that you have everything within you, including the divine, including the Father. Because if you really trust that, you're not going to try and take more pleasure than you need for the moment. You're not going to try and take more money than you need for the moment. This has nothing to do with whether or not you can be wealthy. I believe all of God's children should be wealthy. Some of them choose a different path. That's their particular assignment. But the way I see it, my Father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. My Father owns this entire world. So it makes sense to me that this entire world is my inheritance. But you see, when you know that you own the whole world and everything in it, you don't need to try and collect it, because it's all there. It's all here right now. You don't have to put it in your bank account. You don't have to move it into your assets ledger. It's just here. You've already got it. So don't scramble. You know, and nowhere is this testing more evident and more accelerated. This is why I keep going on about the perfect matrimony. It is the shit. It is the shit, man. When you get with a woman who you love and you start fucking just pounding her and you start going into her, this is the metaphor, you're going into the sacred journey. You're going into ceremony with the woman. She's life. She contains within herself all the milestones of your spiritual evolution. And this is not to say you need her, because when she dies or when she leaves the picture, another one spawns. It's like a video game, and it's all based on your level of energy. So if she falls away, you'll automatically replace her. You'll automatically, it's like a revolving door. The universe will test you. She may go, but then another one of higher energy will just manifest, will spawn. So again, this is another test. You never have to be afraid of, I need to please the woman. I need to hold the woman. I need to lock her down. No, what you need to do is you need to be contained within yourself. You need to be grounded deeper into yourself, and then you will have no trouble with attracting women. And then the one you end up with, she will be so wet for you that it's going to be hard for you to keep your dick out of her. But when you do start that sacred ceremony, when you start entering in, this is where the avatar test comes online. You're going to start having the most incredible energetic exchange through the sex, through the alchemy. And you're going to reach peaks. This is what's been happening for me. You're going to be reaching peaks you've never hit before. You're going to be taking her to places she's never been before. But you as the man need to trust the knowing of when to pull back. This is what I failed this test previously, but I've learned it now. I've learned it, and I will not fail this test again, because I've been too burned. When you know, when you sense it is time to pull back, pull back. Do not forge ahead when that quiet little voice inside you says, okay, we're done here. Pull out. It's time to withdraw. This is your divine role. This is your mandate as a man. You need to be so tuned in to those inner ripples on the surface of your still water that you contain within. There's just these little ripples will just happen. It's time to pull back. It's time to wind it down. It's time to return to ground zero. This will happen in business. This will happen with your woman when you're having sex. When you feel like you're going to blow your load. Wind it back. This is the avatar test. Because the reality is, if you can trust yourself to look in the face of immeasurable wealth, pleasure, sensuality, sumptuousness, if you can trust yourself to stand in front of that and just look at it and just be like, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Don't really care. I can enjoy it. I can leave it. But I'm not going to lose myself in any of this shit. This is when the Kundalini awakens. This is when the power comes online. This is the pearl of great price. Sit with this. Sit with your own sufficiency right now as you are. Accept yourself so radically that it embarrasses other people, but you're not embarrassed. Become so grounded, so content in silence, that the people around you start to sweat with anxiety because you're so calm. This is such a rare quality in men. I'm not talking about simply stoicism, this cookie cutter, copy and paste sort of stoicism. I'm talking about death. Just rest in death. Depth. Everything will come to you, but you won't be attached to it.